When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious.
Good evening, and welcome to the live stream. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No. It's the Big Nerd Pub Quiz Marvel DC special coming to you live on YouTube. I'm your host for this evening, and tonight I'll be testing your knowledge on the two biggest comic book houses, seeing whether or not you're as strong as Superman or whether you'll be erased by Thanos. From X-Men to Batman, from the Avengers to Superman, we have it covered tonight. If you've played before, then welcome back. And if this is your first time, then here's how you play the Big Nerd Pub Quiz. Alright, welcome to Big Nerd Pub Quiz, the Marvel DC special. You can play it by two ways. There's the good old-fashioned pen and paper, or you can use the Google form, which is the best way to play. And if you're up for playing for winning the prize, this is how you have to play. So go to the Google form in the YouTube description below. You can play as a team or totally individually, it's up to you. Open the Google link, enter your email address, and enter the multiple choice questions as they are asked. There's 8 questions in total with 6 questions each. There's only one correct answer per question. And once the quiz is finished, simply hit submit. You'll get your score at the very, very end of the quiz. But stick about and see all the answers at the very, very end. Because there's a prize tonight, we're going to put a time limit on when you can enter at the very end. And it's recommended that you stream the quiz on a laptop or television and play using the Google form on your phone or other device. Good luck, and let's have some fun. So yes, the best way to interact with Big Nerd Pub Quiz is to get in touch with all the social media channels here. We've got Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and of course the YouTube channel. If you want to shout out at any point in the night, best way to do it is get in touch with me via the Facebook or Instagram Messenger. Nobody really uses Twitter. In fact, of all my social media channels, it's the worst one. So yeah, don't bother with Twitter, but you can go with the other ones, Instagram and Facebook. Don't forget to share all your pics. Use the hashtag BigNerdPubQuiz. We're looking forward to see if any of you guys out there are doing it in cosplay. We've had a lot of those in the past for the Harry Potter and the Star Wars one. Pretty cool to see. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Share the channel, Big Nerd Pub Quiz, with all your friends. Don't forget, you can replay any of the previous quizzes and any more at any time at the channel, youtube.com/Big Nerd Pub Quiz. We've had a Star Wars one, football one there recently. Last week we did the Disney one. 80s quiz, 90s quiz, Game of Thrones, Star Trek, Harry Potter. Whatever your fandom is, we've got you covered. Don't forget, the general knowledge quiz is now on at every Saturday at 8 p.m. So that's every Saturday at 8 p.m. And the kids quiz, if you've got some little ones knocking about the house and you want to give them something vaguely educational to do for an hour, kids quiz is on every Tuesday at 2 on the channel. And for all you Father Ted heads, I know you guys have all been really looking forward to this one, but we're doing the Father Ted quiz coming this Wednesday, the 3rd of June at 8 p.m. as well. Following that, next Monday, we've got the Friends quiz, another big requested one. I know you guys have been looking forward to that one, but that's on at 8 p.m. on the 8th of June. That's the Friends one there. That's a look at the Big Nerd Pub Quiz calendar for the next month. So next week, the Friends quiz, followed by the Big Nerd Music quiz, Simpsons, movies, James Bond, horror, 2000s quiz, all coming up. And we're doing a Pokemon quiz and a Big Nerd Wrestling quiz at some point. So yes, this is going to be a really exciting couple of weeks coming up. So yes, do keep your suggestions and ideas coming in. If you want to write a quiz, let me know. And tonight's prize, like I said before, sponsored by the excellent Comic Book Guys, based in Belfast. If you haven't been down, do treat yourself. They have a fantastic store. I know once they come out of lockdown, you guys will be chomping at the bit to go and visit them. But they have a fantastic store on Great Victoria Street, not too far away from Lavery's there. But yes, check them out. They're the Northern Ireland's largest independent comic book store, and they have fully CGC rated comics for sale in there. Like, what these guys don't know about comics, they could write in the back of a postage stamp. They know everything. They're pretty cool. But like I said, these guys are kindly sponsoring a prize tonight of a gift, possibly some comics and a t-shirt. It's a surprise. But yes, don't forget, you can also buy merchandise, Big Nerd Pub Quiz merchandise from northerntees.com. And don't forget to support the Big Nerd Pub Quiz. If you like what I'm doing, you can support it by PayPal and Patreon. Quiz is always going to be free to play, but you can support the work that goes in by donating as little as £1 to the PayPal or Patreon. And it goes without saying, I have to say, big thank you to Neil Cochran, who wrote tonight's quiz. Without him, none of this would have happened. Like I said, he's a massive comic book fan, and he chomped at the bit. He was like basically really super excited to do the quiz and wrote it voluntarily. And I was like, right, cool, we'll do it. We'll do a Marvel DC quiz. So tonight we're going to be testing you over 8 rounds, 6 questions each. Get the Google Doc ready. We're going to kick off now in just a second. Like I said, all Marvel DC and a couple of extra little questions thrown in there. See if you can spot them from outside the universe. But here we go. Your first round of the Marvel DC quiz this 1st of June 2020 is going to be all about general knowledge. So as we like to kick things off on the Big Nerd Pub Quiz, we always do a round of general knowledge to start things off with. 6 questions testing your knowledge, your basic knowledge of the DC and Marvel comic book universes, and some other wee bits and bobs thrown in for good measure. So here we go, round 1, question number 1 coming your way. So yes, start off with a classic here tonight. Round 1, question 1. How many Superman movies featured Christopher Reeve as the titular character? Christopher Reeve, one of the most recognized and possibly the best portrayal of Superman. You can debate me in the comments there on the social media if you want, but I'm looking for see how many Superman movies did Chris Reeve make? So round 1, question number 1. Is an interesting one. Round 1, question 2. Which was the first comic book movie to win an Academy Award? So yeah, it's one of those things, comic book movies very much in vogue these days. Pretty much dominating the blockbuster scene over the last 10 years with the release of Iron Man. But yes, back in the day they were a little bit of a gamble and weren't making as many of them. There was some abortive attempts to make some comic book films which didn't really work out. Like there was an earlier Fantastic Four which never got seen, a Superman movie, a Tim Burton Superman movie. But which was the first comic book movie to win an Academy Award? Gotta think outside the box for that one. It's round 1, question number 3. Which film did Jim Carrey refuse to promote despite starring in it because he didn't realize it was end up being so violent? Yes, comic book movies not known for holding back. Most of them were skirting around the PG-13 age. But you're getting more and more comic book movies like Deadpool and Logan becoming a little bit more hardcore with their violence and their language. For round 1, question 3. But which film did Jim Carrey refuse to promote despite starring in it because he didn't realize it would end up being so violent? That's round 1, question 3. Round 1, question number 4. Which actor confirmed this week that he would be returning to the iconic role of John Jonah Jameson Jr.? So yes, very, very current question. Like I was conferring with Neil just before the quiz went out that I had to throw this one in. As I saw it this morning, I couldn't believe it. But which actor confirmed this week that he will be returning to the role of John Jonah Jameson Jr.? So yes, after I think about 15-year absence, maybe less than that, 13. Anyways, that's round 1, question 4. Round 1, question 5. Which is the only MCU film not to have a mid or post-credits scene? Like we all know, the MCU films are all quite fond of tacking a bit on at the end. But I'm looking for the only MCU film not to have a post-credits scene. Going to these movies, they're so ubiquitous that you actually have to look up before you go, and just in case you wander out of the cinema early. Best bet just to stay. That's round 1, question number 5. And finally, your final question of the general knowledge round. Round 1, question 6. Who directed 2017's Wonder Woman? Yes, so round 1, question 6. Who directed 2017's Wonder Woman, starring Gal Gadot and Chris Pine? But it's round 1, question 6. Who directed that film? Alright, so we breezed through the first round there. So after every round, we're going to go over the questions one more time to make sure you get a chance to catch up and see if you've any you've missed. Don't worry, you can pause the stream at any point, and you can return to any point in the stream and catch up if you can. But I will be monitoring the times that everyone submits, because the prize is pretty sought after tonight. So that's round 1, question 6. We'll do a quick roundup of the first round. So round 1, question 1. How many Superman movies featured Christopher Reeve as the titular character? Number 2, which was the first comic book to win an Oscar? 3, which film that Jim Carrey refused to promote despite starring in it because he didn't realize it would end up being so violent? Number 4, which actor confirmed this week that he would be returning to the iconic role of John Jonah Jameson? Number 5, which is the only MCU film not to have a post-credits sequence? And number 6, who directed 2017's Wonder Woman? Alright, so I hope that round got you nice and settled into tonight's quiz. Like I said before, if you want to get in touch with me, let me know. Follow all the different social media channels. Use the hashtag BigNerdPubQuiz, and I'll try to get you a shout out at some point. I've seen my phone here going mad. So yes, try to get your shout out in. Let me know where you're playing as well. That's always important. Yes, send in some photographs as well. Use the hashtag and post them up on your Instagram stories. It's always cool to see that. Okay, moving right on to the next round of tonight's quiz. And we're going into themed rounds. That's round 2. We're using up made-up names. So, as you can guess, this is all about superhero alter egos. I'm going to show you 6 superhero alter egos, or who they claim to be in real life, or who they are in real life. All you have to do is guess who's behind the mask. Alright? So, here we go. It's not a picture round, but I'm going to show you the real name of the character, and you're going to show me their moniker, as it were. So here we go. Round 2, question 1. Who's Eddie Brock? Don't worry if you don't know. There's 4 options there. Always take a stab. So there's just round 2, question number 1. Eddie Brock. Round 2, question number 2. Interesting one, this one. Peter Porker. That's round 2, question 2. I did have a message in from someone there who, before the quiz, asked if there was any spoilers. I trust many of you seasoned comic book readers and movie aficionados have seen everything so far. But I was told just to give a heads up, just in case. I don't think there are any major spoilers in this. But just in case, just if you think you see something that might throw you, put your fingers in your ears. So round 2, question 2, Peter Porker. Moving on, round 2, question number 3. Who's Billy Batson? I'm looking for Billy Batson. Round 2, question number 3. Alright, so round 2, question number 4. Pietro Maximoff. So what character is Pietro Maximoff? Round 2, question number 4. Round 2, question 5. Jonathan Crane. Okay, I'm looking for Jonathan Crane. Who's his superhero or supervillain alter ego? That's round 2, question number 5. And finally, round 2, question number 6. Kate Kane. As you're well aware, Stan Lee likes using a little bit of alliteration when it comes to naming his characters. Didn't say this was a Stan Lee character though, but we all know those. But yes, round 2, question number 6. Kate Kane. And there's your roundup for round 2. Pretty fast one, that one. We got through that one. Flew through that one. Speed of sound. But yes, have a quick recap of the second round, the alter egos. So I'm looking for their superhero or supervillain name. So round 2, question 1, Eddie Brock. Number 2, Peter Porker. Number 3, Billy Batson. 4, Pietro Maximoff. 5, Jonathan Crane. And 6, Kate Kane. Give you a few seconds to finalize your answers before moving on to the next round. And that is your superhero alter egos round all done and dusted. Okay, just a heads up, right? This is an actual US military helmet. I did cosplay Captain America, classic Steve Rogers Captain America a couple of years ago. Yes, and this is an actual military grade Vietnam helmet, which I dustied up and painted blue and put a big A on it. And yes, it was a successful cosplay. I made the shield and everything. But I have to say, it weighs an absolute ton. So I'm going to take it off because it's actually giving me a pain in the neck. But yes, I hope you're all enjoying the quiz. Do keep the shoutouts coming in. I'll do a big shoutout readout at the very end of the next round, and we'll move swiftly on. So I hope you're all enjoying yourselves. We're moving on to the next one, and it's all about the multiverse, crossovers, and connections. Okay, so, like I said, comics like to kind of mingle and cross over all the time, so the next 6 questions are all about that. So here we go, round 3, question number 1 coming up. So, what relation are Supergirl and Superman? So what is their relation to each other? Round 3, question number 1. What relation Supergirl and Superman? Round 3, question 2. Which of these actors has not played both a Marvel or a DC character? Okay, so out of the following, is it Michael Keaton, Djimon Hounsou, Chris Pine, or Elizabeth Olsen? Bonus points if you can get... Well, there's no bonus points available, but if you can identify who's been in both and work out who hasn't. That's pretty strong knowledge there. But then that'll be the key to answering this. Round 3, question 2. So I'm looking for which of those actors, Michael Keaton, Djimon Hounsou, Chris Pine, and Elizabeth Olsen, which of those actors have not played both a character in the Marvel or DC universes? Question 3 coming up. Round 3, question 3. There's Sam L himself. But Nick Fury actor Samuel L. Jackson also voices which cartoon superhero? And I've accidentally copied and pasted one of the options there. I'm going to go back to that to take that out. It's obviously not Mr. Incredible. But Nick Fury actor Samuel L. Jackson also voices which cartoon superhero? Round 3, question number 4. Which actor played an Avenger and also a member of the Fantastic Four? It's very rare that two actors can, or one actor can actually cross between, particularly being such a prominent role. But I'm sure you'll all know this one. Round 3, question 4. I'm looking for the name of the actor who played an Avenger and also a member of the Fantastic Four. Yes, a lot of mixed feelings about those Fantastic Four films. It's like almost like they have a little bit of a curse about them. But that's round 3, question number 4. Round 3, question 5. Director James Gunn has helmed 2 Guardians of the Galaxy films for Marvel, but which DC sequel is he currently working on? So that's round 3, question 5. I have to say, I'm a massive fan of the Guardians movies. Chris Pratt's really, really funny. But yes, round 3, question number 5. Director James Gunn. He's helmed 2 Guardians of the Galaxy films for Marvel, but which DC sequel is he currently working on? And finally, your final multiverse question for this evening, round 3, question 6. Is a good one, this, and it's one of those movies which was often not thought about for good reason, obviously. But which Back to the Future cast member also starred in the 1986 movie based on the Marvel Comics character Howard the Duck? It was famously produced by George Lucas, and is a very, very odd film. Does it hold up? I haven't watched it recently enough to even, warrant a review of it. But if you're a fan of Howard the Duck, do let me know. I know there's a Howard the Duck appears in Guardians somewhere. You see him. But yes, round 3, question 6. I'm looking for the name of the Back to the Future cast member who also starred in the 1986 film Howard the Duck. Yeah, it's one of those, they probably threw a lot of money at that film and then realized, God, that didn't work. So let's not, put Hollywood off making them. But anyway, round 3, question 6. And here's your multiverse roundup for round 3. Okay, so starting off, I'm looking for the name. I'm looking for the relation between Supergirl and Superman. Number 2, which of these actors have not played both a Marvel and a DC character? Number 3, Nick Fury, the actor. Samuel L. Jackson also voices which cartoon superhero? I think I gave it away with one of those clues in there, but anyway. Number 4, which actor played an Avenger and also a member of the Fantastic Four? Number 5, director James Gunn has helmed 2 Guardians movies for Marvel, but which DC sequel is he currently working on? And 6, which Back to the Future cast member also starred in a 1986 movie based on a Marvel Super Comics character, Howard the Duck. All right, let's get some shout-outs out there. Big shout-out to Noah and Finley. They've seen nearly every comic book movie going, and they even love the 1966 Batman, and that's from Dave in the Whirl opposite Liverpool there. Good to hear from you guys, and thanks for watching tonight. Natalie Riley is playing from the West Midlands, and she wants a shout out this evening. Good to hear from you. Emily Rose is playing, as well as Claire Zerker. Also got a wee shout out here to Dave House, who is playing with Tilda, Dave, Monica, and Dom. They're loving the quiz. Well, good to hear from you guys. Keep the shout outs coming in. Keep mentioning me in the stories. Like and subscribe all the social media. Sure, I need all the likes and the subscribers. And don't forget, you can buy Big Nerd Pub Quiz merchandise from Northern Iron Tees. So yes, do check that out. Okay, so moving on this evening to the round 4, which is going to bring us up to the halfway point tonight. So here we go. Round 4 is all about, you're going to enjoy this one. It's Stan Lee. So round 4 is all about Stan Lee cameos. It's a picture round. I'm going to show you 6 clips, or not clips, just stills from various Stan Lee appearances in the Marvel universe. All you have to do is guess which movie is the clip or the still from. So yes, Stan Lee, known for his cameos, often appearing up as a background character or someone there. But yes, I want you to name the movie which the still is from. So here we go. Picture round, first picture round tonight, and it is round 4, question 1. Name the movie. You can probably guess by the clothes, the attire. And I'm sure if you're a big Marvel fan, you'll get this straight away. But round 4, question 1. Stanley's popped up here as a 4-star general. But which Marvel film is it? It's round 4, question number 1. Round 4, question 2. There he is again. Which film is this? Round 4, question number 3. Another still rather domesticated stand there. Water in the garden. But which film is this from? Round 4, question 3. Don't worry if I'm going too fast. I will go through them one more time at the end. So chill your boots. That's round 4, question number 3. Round 4, question 4. Not strictly a film, this. Or is it? It's round 4, question 4. Which film is this? Or which Marvel entity is this from? Round 4, question 5. An interesting cameo. He actually plays himself. He actually says, I am Stan Lee here. But round 4, question number 5. Which film does he play himself? And finally, another domesticated looking Stan there, hooking about in the fridge. But which film is this from? I think the green might give you a bit of a clue. So anyway, that is the final question for the Stan Lee round. We'll go through them one more time, in case I was a little bit too fast. So there you go, round 4, question number 1. What's the film? Question number 2. Number 3. 4. 5. And 6. Okay, hope you all enjoyed that one. That's brought us up now to the halfway point of the quiz, which is finished round 4. And now, as I always do at this point in the proceedings, a couple of wee shout-outs and plugs to various creative projects that my friends are working on out there and about. So, first one, as I always do, one of my long-time friends and collaborators, it's the Stuck in Here With You podcast from Jez and Mary. Do check it out. They've made loads of them now. They're getting constantly new guests and new comedians and everything on, talking about their life under lockdown. But they were very quick to jump on that lockdown podcast bandwagon. But it's a very good one. Do check it out. They even play the quiz at some point. Also check out Hot Topic Nightmare. I know Paul, who writes this, is a big fan of Marvel DC films. But yes, he gets a bunch of his mates to talk about various topics that they did nothing about and do a book report on them. Paul's also going to be writing me the Pokemon quiz. So yes, do check that out. Couldn't go past the evening without mentioning our good friends Banterflex, who wrote the Disney quiz last week. Big thanks to them. And Fright Club, those guys up in Ballymena who are doing the horror quiz at the end of next month. Do check those out. And I don't know whether you noticed, but yes, I'm doing a breakfast show on Zest FM every weekday morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Today was my first go at it properly. And yes, play loads of really cool tracks from the 80s there. So do check that out. That's zestfm.co.uk. Zestfm.co.uk. And also check out the Nerd Party for a selection of podcasts catered for the very discerning nerd out there. You'll find whatever fandom you're after in those. And massive shout out and thank you to our sponsors tonight, Comic Book Guys, who are providing tonight's prize. Yes, if you haven't checked out their store, you're going to treat yourself. They have a fantastic website as well. Do check it out. It's comicbookguys.co.uk. They They have great in-store signings when they'll get back up and running again. Lots of exclusive merchandise and prints, etc. And very, very, very comics. So yes, one of the finest comic book stores, not just in Northern Ireland, but all the island of Ireland. But yes, thank you very much for sponsoring tonight's prize. And like I said before, Lockdown Ale, another Northern Ireland company, like promoting Northern Ireland groups. They're not providing a prize tonight, but do check out their new Lockdown Pale Ale. It's really tasty. Tried it there during the week. Fantastic stuff. They're going to be sponsoring future prizes. And don't forget another Northern Ireland business, another local company, NorthernIrelandTees.com for official merch. And there's all the Patreon shoutouts there. You know what to do. Always plugging away there. But anyway, man needs to eat. Anyway, thanks very much for joining us. We are just gone past 8:30 and we're moving on with the quiz. I know you're all raring to go with this next round. And the round 5, no, it's not the sport round. It's one name, two faces. Okay, so this requires a little bit of behind-the-scenes knowledge and knowledge of your actors and voice actors. I'm going to be showing you 2 different actors, and they are famed or known to have played one particular character. That's all it is. So yes, the next 6 dozen are all going to be played one particular character. All you have to do is guess who they played. So here we go, round 5, question number 1. So Jamie Bell and Michael Chiklis. Jamie Bell and Michael Chiklis. Might have paused there. Just check the stream. I'm having a bit of an issue. Oh, no, we're back. Round 5, question number 1. Jamie Bell and Michael Chiklis. It's round 5. Question number 1. So round 5, question number 1. Jamie Bell and Michael Chiklis. Both played one particular character. Who is it? Name the character. Round 5, question 2. Mark Hamill and Jared Leto. That should be an easy one. Thanks, Neil. Just getting a wee bit of a heads up there, but Neil is being my online producer, live producer for this evening. Round 5, question number 2. Mark Hamill, you should all get this, very famous laugh, and Jared Leto. Quite an easy one, that. So what famous character have they played together? Not at the same time, obviously. Round 5, question 3. Kevin Conroy and George Clooney. This is really stretching your knowledge of the DC and Marvel universes here. But Kevin Conroy and George Clooney. It's round 5, question number 3. Round 5, question 4. Tom Welling and Dean Cain. Now, if you know who Dean Cain is, there's a very special place in my heart for him because basically he starred in my favourite Saturday afternoon TV show on BBC and absolutely loved it. If you know what I'm talking about, you'll know the character. Flat out, right? But yes, round 5, question 4. Tom Welling and Dean Cain. Doesn't get any more obvious than that if you know your old school TV shows. Question 5 of round 5. Michelle Pfeiffer and Anne Hathaway. Round 5, question 5. Michelle Pfeiffer and Anne Hathaway. And your final actors round here. James McAvoy and Patrick Stewart. Round 5, question 6. I think that's a good round if you want to pick up some points. If you find the quiz a little bit difficult earlier on, definitely, I think you guys should be definitely picking up points in that one. But that's round 5, question number 6. Alright, and there's the roundup there. We'll go through them one more time. Jamie Bell and Michael Chiklis at number 1. At number 2, Mark Hamill and Jared Leto. Number 3, Kevin Conroy and George Clooney. Number 4, Tom Welling and Dean Cain. 5, Michelle Pfeiffer and Anne Hathaway. And number 6, James McAvoy and Patrick Stewart. Okay, before we move on to round 6, a couple of more shout-outs to do. I always try to get as many as I can. But yes, can we have a wee shout-out to the Andersons from Dundee in Scotland. We've got very excited boys today who are waiting for the quiz. Well, I hope you're enjoying it, guys. Carl Davidson said, I'm really looking forward to this one. I'm a massive comic book nerd. Seeing as I didn't get a shout-out last week, any chance of one tonight? Well, Carl, tonight's your lucky night, mate. Big shout-out to yourself. How you doing, man? Debbie Upton, she's always texting in. We're loving the quiz. Can you give a shout-out to Simon and Jacob? Quizzing in Colville in Leicestershire. And finally, Kira Hawkins has texted in. She says, hey, can you give a shout out to Neil who wrote the quiz from Kira and Michael? So yes, that's from Kira there. He won't give us any answers. Well, good. You have to earn this prize tonight. And don't forget, tonight's prize is sponsored by Comic Book Guys. Gotta give them another wee shout out there. But they're fantastic comic book retailers. Very, very unique in the country. Do check them out. And they're giving away some really cool comic book themed prizes for this evening. Couldn't think of it better. Sponsor for tonight. Anyway, so here we go. Here's the next round. Round 6 coming your way. And it's all about name that animated character. Yeah, some of the finest incarnations of some of the Marvel and DC superheroes have been on the small screen. Saturday morning cartoons. Yes, they hold up even today. So today we're going to be showing you 6 animated versions of famous Marvel and DC characters. All you have to do is name them. Some of them might be as recognizable, and some of them might not be. Like they say, the movies, they like to make everything dark. But yes, name the animated character. Round 6, question number 1. You should definitely get this one. I actually prefer him in that gear. But round 6, question number 1. Who's that? Doesn't get any simpler than that, but it's a good one to ease us into this next one. So round 6, question number 1. Round 6, question 2. Which animated character is this? So round 6, question 2. Which animated character is this? Yes, round 6, question 3. Possibly the most derided of all the kind of action heroes, but they've certainly given him, I can definitely say they've given him a makeover of sorts, like a very, very dramatic makeover, I have to say. Yes, but who is this particular member of the Justice League? Round 6, question 3. Round 6, question 4. Who's this? So, from a more recent incarnation of a very famous comic book hero. Don't need to say any more. It's a very famous one, very, very popular one at the moment. Round 6, question number 4. Round 6, question 5. Not strictly Marvel or DC, but then again, Disney do own them, so yeah, we're going to throw them in. Who's this? It's round 6, question 5. We did say we were going to throw a couple of curveballs at you. Not to say this is a big of a curveball, but yes, the big behemoth that is Disney now own Star Wars, of course, and Marvel, DC, and The Simpsons. So yes, technically, Princess Leia is a Disney princess now. So that's round 6, question 5. And finally, another Saturday morning favorite, round 6, question 6. Again, I think these are all up on Disney Plus. Gotta get my sister's code for that. Round 6, question number 6. All these Marvel DC questions made me want to binge watch all these movies. Like I said, this has become a full-time job for me, and it's like, yeah, don't get the time. But anyway, round 6, question 6. We'll go through them one more time so you make sure you can catch up. Round 6, question number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. And finally, number 6. And yes, that's the end of round 6. Thanks very much for tuning in. Like I said, keep the shoutouts coming in. I'll try my very best to get you a wee mention before the night's out. But yes, don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And hit the little bell button for updates on upcoming quizzes and the like. And don't forget, you can play any of the specialty quizzes that we've had out there. So whatever your fandom, we've got you covered. Like everything from Star Wars, football, Star Trek, Harry Potter, 80s stuff, 90s stuff, Game of Thrones. You know, the Father Ted quiz is coming up. The Friends one's there. So yes, plenty to look forward to over the next couple of weeks. And like I said, I'm very, very aware of the football coming back in a couple of days. So yes, I might shift around times to give you a chance to play the quiz as well as watch the football. I know I'll be wanting to watch the Premier League when it comes back. But anyway, enough about my yammering. We're going to go on to the penultimate round of this evening, round 7. And it's all about heroes. Sure, what would a comic book be without a superhero in the middle of it? But yes, next 6 questions, all general knowledge questions about superheroes. Here we go. Question 1 of round 7. So yes, the very, very futuristic home there of Tony Stark. But what was Tony Stark's address before the Mandarin had his house destroyed? It's round 7. Question number 1. It's very reminiscent of something like Frank Lloyd Wright meets Frank Geary. But round 7. Question number 1. What was Tony Stark's address before the Mandarin had his house destroyed? Round 7, question 2. Joseph Gordon-Levitt was eventually revealed to be Robin in The Dark Knight Rises, but what name did he go by throughout the film? So that's round 7, question 2. Joseph Gordon-Levitt eventually revealed to be Robin in The Dark Knight Rises, but what was the name that he went through throughout the movie? It's round 7, question 2. Doesn't quite match up with the other one, does it? With the more traditional one. But anyway, moving on, round 7, question number 3. In the Avengers Infinity War, how many years old does Thor claim to be? So that's round 7, question 3. In the Avengers Infinity War, how many years old does Thor claim to be? Round 7, question 3. Hope you're enjoying this rather epic music I have picked out tonight. I've signed up to Epidemic Sounds. They're a Swedish-based company that provide royalty-free music for a subscription charge for YouTubers, streamers like myself. So if you're doing any kind of projects like this, do use them. I'm not plugging them. I'm not being paid to plug them. But yes, they're very, very good. And they've got a great selection of tunes. I don't want to get copyright strikes or slaps on the wrist like I've got before. But that's round 7, question 3. In the Avengers Infinity War, how many years old does Thor claim to be? The next round of your Heroes 1, the next question, round 7, question 4. Name the scientist played by Bill Bixby who transforms into the Hulk in the classic television series, also starring Lou Ferrigno. So yes, the 1970 TV series. So Bill Bixby played the scientist who turns into the Hulk. But what was his name in that TV series? Alright. I'm not going to give too much away about that one, but round 7, question number 4. Round 7, question 5. Phil Coulson was seen summoned before Loki attacked Earth. What instrument did she play? So yes, not very memorable scene there. But Phil Coulson was seeing someone before Loki attacked the planet Earth. But what instrument was she playing? Phil Coulson there obviously going on with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Become a very, very well rounded out character in the series. It's round 7, question 5. And your final question of Heroes, your penultimate round, it's nearly done. But which group of heroes once relied on a giant blue teddy bear called Bebo to defeat an evil demon? That's round 7, question number 6. Round 7, question number 6. Which group of heroes once relied on a giant blue teddy bear called Bebo to defeat an evil demon? And there's your heroes roundup for tonight, round 7. Question number 1. What was Tony Stark's address before the Mandarin had his house destroyed? Number 2. Joseph Gordon-Levitt was eventually revealed to be Robin in The Dark Knight Rises, but what name did he go by throughout the majority of the movie? Number 3. In the Avengers Infinity War, how many years old does Thor claim to be? 4. Name the scientist played by Bill Bixby who transforms into the Hulk in the classic TV series. Number 5. Phil Coulson was seeing somebody before Loki attacked Earth. What instrument did she play? And finally, number 6. Which group of heroes once relied on a giant blue teddy bear called Bebo to defeat an evil demon? Okay, before we move on to the final round of the Marvel DC quiz, the Big Nerd Pub Quiz special, we'll do a quick couple more shout-outs. I know my phone's going absolutely mad. Mike Povey says, can I give a shout-out to Mike from Bristol? Good to hear from you, buddy. Michelle Gibb says, can we get a shout-out to the Marvel quiz? To Michelle, Sean, Christopher, Cheryl, and Dean. Good to hear from you guys. Shout-out to Angelina in Moscow, and that's from Stephen McCullough. He says she's kicking his ass, but he'll have his revenge in the Father Ted quiz. Good to hear from you guys. And another big shout out to Donna, Chelsea Mooney, who watched all the films last week in preparation for this, and that's from Sherry. Thanks very much for putting all the effort in. Okay, so here comes your final round this evening. If we had a heroes round, it sure wouldn't be the same without a villains round. So yes, the final round tonight is all about superhero villains. We had a count for that heroes one somehow. But yes, the final round, just 1 point of information before we go ahead. Before the final question is read out, when the final question is read out, you'll have a chance to press submit on your score sheet in the Google score sheet. Do hit it as fast as you can. It'll submit the answers to myself. You'll automatically be tallied up and given your score at the very end, but you won't be told the answers, but do stick about and I will read them out at the very end of the live stream. So yes, it will bring us up to 9 o'clock and that'll be us all for the evening. So here we go, the final round of the Marvel DC quiz for this evening. Round 8, question number 1, villains. So Tom Hardy played Bane in The Dark Knight Rises, but in which previous Batman film did the character also appear? So this wasn't the first on-screen incarnation of Bane. He crops up somewhere else. But in which previous Batman film did the character also appear? Tom Hardy, obviously not a stranger to playing villainous characters. One of his early roles was the character of Shinzon, a clone of Captain Picard in the Star Trek movie Star Trek Nemesis. That was one of his very, very early roles. Round 8, question number 1. Which other Batman film did the character Bane appear in? Round 8, question 2. Which iconic villain said, doesn't it ever wake you in the middle of the night, the feeling that one day they will pass that foolish law or one like it? So that's round 8, question 2. Don't want to give too much away on this. You'll totally figure this one out yourselves. But that's round 8, question 2. Which iconic villain said, does it ever wake you in the middle of the night, the feeling that one day they will pass that foolish law or one like it? Yes, it's one of those Marvel movies with a bit of political intrigue thrown in for the mix. Round 8, question 3. We're getting near the end. In the first Avengers movie, how many people did Loki kill in his first 2 days on Earth? It is mentioned by a character. So yes, this is substantiated and verified. It's mentioned on screen. How many people did Loki kill in his first 2 days on Earth? Yes, one of the other Avengers does mention it. Round 8, question 3. Round 8, question 4. Wonder Woman faced off against Ares in the 2017 hit film, but what was the god Ares the god of? There's a lot of comic book movies drawing upon classic mythology for the basis of their storylines, but round 8, question 4. Wonder Woman faced off against Ares in the 2017 DC film, but what was Ares the god of? It's round 8, question 4. So here's your penultimate question tonight. Gonna read it out. So, which famous villain has been portrayed by Gene Hackman, John Cryer, and Kevin Spacey? That's round 8, question number 5, your penultimate question. I know you're all waiting with bated breath for the final one, but yes, like I said before, don't forget, once you hit the submit, that's your questions in. Stick about for the end of the quiz for the answers, and you'll get the score right away. Unless you're playing with pen and paper, so do stick about and then self-mark. But here we go. Read it out one more time. Which famous villain portrayed by Gene Hackman, John Cryer, and Kevin Spacey? And your final Marvel DC question of the night, round 8, question number 6. We had to get this guy in here somewhere, but round 8, question 6. What was the first Infinity Stone that Thanos placed in his gauntlet? there you go. I think you guys should all start hitting submit, and you'll all start getting an idea of what scores you have. If you've done great or done not so great. Round 8, question 6. What was the first Infinity Stone that Thanos placed in his gauntlet? And there is the round 8 roundup, the final, the villains round. Go through them one more time. I know you are all frantically scurrying to get your questions in. I'm going to call the time at 9 o'clock. Basically 5 minutes. I'll call it 5 minutes to 9. After that, I'm not going to be accepting any more submissions, questions. Like I said, I get to see all the ones that go in. But like after that, and I'll announce the winner on the next quiz on Wednesday night. That's the Father Ted quiz. But yes, do get your answers in and go through them one more time. Tom Hardy played Bane in The Dark Knight Rises, but in which previous Batman movie does Bane appear? 2. The comic villain that says, does it ever wake you in the middle of the night, the feeling that one day they'll pass that foolish law, or one just like it? Number 3. In the first Avengers movie, how many people did Loki kill in his first 2 days on Earth? 4. Wonder Woman faced off against Ares in the 2017 hit DC film, but what is Ares the god of? 5. Which famous villain has been portrayed by Gene Hackman, John Cryer, and Kevin Spacey? And finally, number 6. What was the first Infinity Stone that Thanos placed in his gauntlet? Alright, thank you very much for everyone who's been taking part in the Marvel DC quiz. I can see my phone has lit up with loads of people texting in, looking for shoutouts and everything like that. I'll definitely get a chance to do that before the end of the evening. But I want to take this opportunity to thank 2 people. For first of all, Neil Cochran for writing all of this quiz. If it was without him, I definitely wouldn't have been able to do this. And it was a fantastic and really, really well thought out and engineered quiz. Thank you very, very much for doing it for me, mate. And hopefully, if there's enough interest, we'll do another one. Like, the Marvel and DC universes are absolutely massive, so surely we can squeeze out a couple of more questions about those. And another big thanks to our sponsors tonight, the comic book guys. I'm sure they're going to have a great prize for you, whoever wins tonight, so very, very good luck. Also, we'll get a couple of shout-outs to Russ and Clem, and that's from Rudiger King. Clive Tank Jones says, he's from Cheltenham, and he says, this is my type of quiz. I'm glad that you are enjoying it tonight. A little family went camping in the back of the garden. Alex wants to know about the Lord of the Rings quiz. He also says, go Dodgers. Like I said, I'm a Mets fan. But yes, Lord of the Rings quiz, that will happen. I do need a writer on it. Kieran McQuaid wants a shout out to his wife Jenny, who loves the quiz. Thanks very much for watching tonight. Nidge wants a shout out to the Flip from Colville. It's her first quiz. Good to hear from you guys. Flip Martinez again. Mike shouting out Flip. Philip playing from Colville. Glenn McKee says he wanted a wee shout out to Glenn and Emma in East Belfast. Loving the quiz. Thanks a million. And one more wee shout out before, because I'm getting absolutely slaughtered here. Jan, Steve, Tom in Staffordshire, and Ben in Chester. Family challenge to see who gets the most correct. One more here. Una Boyle. Shout out to Eamon and Sean in Belfast from the Boyle family in Auchnacloy. Cheers, thank you so much for playing. And like I said, if I didn't get a chance to give you a shout out tonight, I'm very, very sorry. Like I said, I get absolutely swamped. But don't forget, like and subscribe. Get in touch with me. Let me know what you think of the quiz, any feedback or any quizzes you'd like to see coming up in the next couple of months. Okay, so hold tight. We're going to announce the answers of tonight's quiz. So here we go. Round 1 questions. Here's the answers for them. So, how did you get on? The round 1 answers, there was 4 Christopher Reeve Superman movies, the last one being Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, which was famously filmed in Milton Keynes. Batman was the first comic book movie to win an Oscar. Kick-Ass 2 was the movie that Jim Carrey did not want to promote. J.K. Simmons is returning to play J. Jonah Jameson in any sort of Spider-Man film that's coming up. It's fantastic to hear. Avengers Endgame is question number 5, which has no title sequence at the very end. And Patty Jenkins there is the director of the Wonder Woman film. Okay, so round 2 answers. So, Eddie Brock was Venom, played in Spider-Man 3 by Topher Grace. Number 2, Spider-Ham, a spider who was bitten by a radioactive pig. Number 3, Billy Baston is Shazam, and is played by Zachary Levi. Number 4, Quicksilver is the brother of Wanda Maximoff, aka the Scarlet Witch. Jonathan Crane, the Scarecrow, appeared in the Christopher Nolan trilogy, played by Cillian Murphy. And Kate Kane was Batwoman in the TV adaptation starring Ruby Rose, and one of the very few LGBT superheroes on screen. So the relation between Batman and Superman, they're cousins, and they're both played by Melissa Benoist and Tyler Hoechlin. In the Arrowverse show Supergirl, Elizabeth Olsen is the only actor. She's only played the Scarlet Witch. The other ones, Michael Keaton has played Batman and Vulture in Spider-Man Homecoming. Jamon Hunsu has played Wizard in Shazam and Korath in the MCU. Chris Pine is in Spider-Man, in Spider-Verse, and Steve Trevor in Wonder Woman. Nick Fury also played Frozone in The Incredibles, which was actually Sam Jackson's first animated movie there. Good, interesting fun fact. Number 4 there. Chris Evans has played Johnny Storm in The Human Torch in the Fantastic Four movies and Captain America in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Good crossover for him. Suicide Squad 2 is going to be directed by James Gunn after he was fired for some controversial tweets, but got rehired for Guardians 3. And Leah Thompson, she plays Beverly Schwetzler in Howard the New Breed of Hero, Howard the Duck. So Leah Thompson obviously played Marty McFly's mum. The round 4 answers. So these were the Stan Lee cameos. The first one, Captain America, First Avenger. Number 2, Ant-Man and the Wasp. 3, X-Men, The Last Stand. 4, Daredevil. 5, Fantastic Four, The Rise of the Silver Surfer. And 6, The Incredible Hulk. Round 5 answers, and these were all the ones who different characters played different people. But yes, Jamie Bell and Michael Chiklis have both played the Thing. Mark Hamill, famously, and Jared Leto. Mark Hamill in the animated series and Jared Leto in Suicide Squad was the Joker. Many famous actors have played the Joker, but yes. And the only role, aside from Michael Corleone, to get the actor 2 Oscars for 7 roles. So Don Corleone in The Godfather for Marlon Brando, and what was the other one? Robert De Niro. Moving on, Batman was Kevin Conroy and George Clooney. Dean Cain, I was giving you a big clue there, but Dean Cain in The New Adventures of Superman, Lois and Clark, and Tom Welling in Smallville. Catwoman, Michelle Pfeiffer and Anne Hathaway, and James McAvoy and Patrick Stewart. I'm sure you all got that one, Professor X. It's probably his most famous role outside of Captain Picard. Your round 6 answers, very straightforward. Wolverine, Green Arrow, Aquaman, Gwen Stacy, Dash Power, and Rogue. Your heroes' answers. So Tony Stark's address is 10880 Malibu Point. Blake is the name that Joseph Gordon-Levitt went before he was revealed as Robin. Thor is 1,500 years old. David Banner. So this is it. It's not Bruce Banner in the TV show. It's David Banner. Because apparently the producers thought that Bruce was a little bit too effeminate. It was rather odd, but yes, Bruce Banner. It's not Bruce Banner in the TV show. It's David Banner. Cello is the Tony and the Pepper make a reference to a cellist from Portland who Agent Coulson has been seeing. And finally, Legends of Tomorrow, which they use the big blue teddy bear. And the final answer is the villains one. Batman and Robin was the first appearance of Bane. Magneto said that line in that film, one of the X-Men movies. Black Widow says to Thor that he's killed 80 people. Ares is the god of war. Lex Luthor is the actors played Jimmy Hackman, John Cryer, and Kevin Spacey. And finally, it's the Power Stone, is the first Infinity Stone that Thanos placed in his gauntlet. Thank you so much for playing the Marvel DC quiz. Big thanks again to Neil for writing it, and the Comic Book Guys for sponsoring the prizes. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel down there, and press the little bell button to get some updates. And don't forget to like and follow me on all the social media channels. Love hearing all your feedback. Love everyone getting in touch with me and letting me know about how much they enjoy the quizzes and how much more they want to see of different specialty quizzes. So like I said before, we are diversifying and we're doing more specialty quizzes than ever. So whatever your fandom, we've got it covered. Father Ted quiz on Wednesday the 3rd of June. You will. Go on. And that's been one that's been desperately requested by all the Irish people here. The Friends quiz another big hot quiz coming up, and that's on the 8th of June. And the June lineup, it looks like that. Every Saturday is the general knowledge quiz, so if you fancy your chances there and fancy your chances of winning some great prizes, that's always on the Saturday. And yes, loads of the other quizzes there, the Simpsons ones, the movie ones, James Bond. So much more to look forward to. But like I said, thank you so much. That's brought us right up to 9 o'clock. Thank you again for everyone who's taken part and tuning in. Like I said before, if you enjoyed the quiz, if you really enjoy what I'm doing, and if you want to support the quiz, like I said, it's all based on a model of soundness. If you saw me down the street and like to buy me a cup of coffee or a pint, by all means, donate to the PayPal and the Patreon. There's paypal.me/BigNerdPubQuiz. Same at patreon.com. And as everyone donates as little as £1, like I said, the quiz is always free to play, but I always appreciate people supporting the effort that goes into making all of this, promoting it, and the graphics and everything like that. But anyway, thank you so much for playing tonight. I'll see you again the next Big Nerd Pub Quiz on Wednesday, 3rd of June, 8 p.m. Have a great rest of your evening. Enjoy yourself. Stay safe. And we'll see you all later in the week. Good luck and good night.